welcome. I'm Alison Merritt, and today on Thinking Outside the Box, I'm going to show you how I created this Holo Boho Flower Pendant. Isn't that cool? I love this look. So, this is going to be a quick tutorial. This has nothing to do with polymer clay this time. Surprising, huh? But I will be bringing you videos that may not pertain to polymer clay. So we'll do a little bit of everything. So I'm going to show you how I created this. The first thing that you are going to need, the list of supplies, you're going to need a 1-inch hole punch. And this one is made by EK. I think I got this at Joann Fabrics or Michael's. It's a 1-inch round punch. You're going to need a 1-inch bail. And I'll have links to most of this stuff if I can find it. Definitely for the bails, I'll have links for that. You're going to need some Born Pretty powders. You can also use glitter, other mica powders. Just make sure they're really sparkly, whatever they are. So you'll need those. Let me pull this out a bit. You are going to need either black acrylic paint, or you can also use black gel polish, UV gel polish, and that's what I used in this. You are going to need some sort of an embossing folder. This one is Doris, and hopefully I can find a link to this particular pattern. These are like boho flowers. And you are going to need a brush. This brush is from Tiny Pandora. It's my favorite brush. And you're also going to need a UV lamp. This is a Melody Susie. And I love this lamp. I'll have a link to that. And UV resin of your choice. And usually I use the Easy Dome, but because I'm doing a quick tutorial, because I'm working on the she shed, I'm going to use this particular resin, which cures a lot faster. I'm not saying it's better though. I really love the Easy Dome, because it has no smell, you know, and it's just a really good resin, but this dries a lot, or cures a lot quicker. The Easy Dome takes 30 minutes to cure, and we need to do a couple steps with the resin. So that's why I'm using that one. And last but not least, you will need some cello wrap. And you want to make sure that it's the kind that is just not clear, but has, you know, several different colors in it. I got this from Hobby Lobby. If I can find it on their website, I will link it. You get a bunch of it. So, I mean, you can make a bunch of stuff. So you're going to need that. And you're going to need a piece of paper. This is just copier paper. And I'll show you why I use this. And you are also going to need scissors. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that you want to do is cut a piece. Let me move all this stuff out of here. You want to cut a piece of this cello paper, or cello wrap. It's not paper, it's plastic. I cut just you don't need a huge piece, just, you know, a rectangle about maybe 2-3 inches tall. So I just have this piece here. And we can put this aside now. Oh, I forgot to also tell you, let me zoom back out again. You are going to need a way to emboss, and I have this little cute texture boutique. It's by Sizzix, and you run it's a little dusty, you run your embossing folder through that, and I'll show you when I do it. You could also put it on here and, you know, push down really hard. You don't really need that. I just, for convenience, I have it, and I used to paper craft, so I've got a lot of those supplies. All right, so we're gonna take our rectangle. Don't need to be that close. Take our rectangle, and we're gonna take our paper and fold it this way and fold it that way. So it's about the width of your plastic or your cello wrap. And I'm gonna put it down here, close this up on it. Now you wanna remember where it is in there. And the reason I'm doing this is because you could cut a circle out, but to be more precise, it's good to use a hole punch. Now the problem with the hole punch and the cello wrap is it doesn't work. So if you sandwich it between some paper, you can then cut it that way and it works perfectly. So I'm putting my hole punch on there. Go ahead and punch that hole, and there you go. You have a perfect circle. That one's got a little crease in it, so I'm gonna punch another one because I really don't want a crease in it. So I'm gonna pull this down here and punch my hole. All right, you can put that aside now, put the hole punch aside, and now you have your circle. Now you're going to take this little circle and you're gonna wanna find a spot on your embossing folder of a flower, you know, one that you would like to put in this 1-inch bale. And that one right there is the one that I used. So it cuts off some of the petals, but that's fine. Actually, it was that one, I believe. Well, now I'm thinking it was the larger one. So it'll cut off some of the tips, but that's no big deal. Maybe it was that one down there. It was that one down there. I'm sorry. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put your, my dog, you wanna line it up where it's fairly even all the way around where it's cutting the petals off. And close the folder. Now I think I will zoom back out on this one. So you close the folder, and with your embossing machine, you should get these plates, and you sandwich your embossing folders in between those. Now I have found, because you're using this cello wrap, that it's thinner than paper. So I add an extra cardboard to it to help. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this through, and I just crank it and it presses down on it for me. So I do it this way and stop, and then I come back. So it goes through twice. All right, we can get that out of the way now. So now we have some cello wrap that has been embossed. Look at that. Let me put it on black, maybe that will help. Notice how that changed color when I put it on the black, as opposed to holding it, and it looks pinkish and greenish. And now it looks more just greenish. The cool thing about this is, depending on your background, is how your final outcome will go with this. So if you were to put it on, let's say, a purple background or red or yellow or whatever, this is going to change color. So I'm choosing the black. But you can experiment and think outside the box and choose any color that you like. So the first thing you want to do is make sure that your surface is clean. You've got to have this clean. I just rubbed it with some alcohol and then let it dry. So what we need to do first is get our black background. And how I like to do that is with my Born Pretty Soak Off Gel Polish. Now this is a no wipe, and that's what you want. You don't have to use this brand, but it does need to be no wipe because wiping is just a pain, and it will leave some of the oils behind no matter what you do. So shake it up. This is black. And this is actually the best black UV polish, nail polish that I have found is the Born Pretty brand. The only problem is it takes forever to get here. Hopefully they'll work on better customer service too. All right, so you just want to paint that in there. And, you know, like I said, you don't have to get this. You can use black acrylic paints, and then you just let that dry. I'm just a very impatient person, especially when I got a lot going on with renovations and trying to get my studio together so I can get all moved into it. So I just grabbed some of the black UV polish, and it just was a whole lot quicker. So you're just gonna coat that in there. You don't wanna put gobs of it in, but you do wanna put enough of it in where you're getting rid of the silver background. So just keep doing that until it's all coated and your silver is covered. And if a little gets on the side, on the inside, that's no big deal. You don't have to be super precise with this. You just want to make sure that your silver is not showing. So I'm gonna put one more little dab over here. All right. Now, the thing with these pendants with the bails on them is the bail is crooked. Or not the bail's crooked. I didn't mean that. The bail is perfect. When you set it down, it's not level. So what I'd like to do is these little silicone cups that I get from TKB Trading. I turn them upside down, and they're perfect to hold that. And it's the bail part is off to the side, so they're perfectly flat. All right, so I'm gonna let this sit for a minute just to settle, and then I'm going to put it in my UV light, and I like to put it in there for about 6 to 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and when it's fully cured, I'll be back. All right, this is now fully cured, the black UV polish. It's okay, Anna, no one's here, calm down. No growling. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I chose purple, green, and blue Born Pretty powders that I'm going to put on here just to give it that extra sparkle in the background. So I'm not gonna use a lot, but go ahead and open these up. And you just dab them wherever you want. You can use 1 color, 2 colors, 3 colors, 4 colors, whatever you want to do. So that one, I'll put a little there. And the green, Anna, stop. I'll put a little here. The nice thing when I get moved into my studio, my she shed, is I won't have a whining dog in the background anymore, and cats knocking things over and all the other fun noises in the background, it'll just be us. And now I'm going to add some of the blue. And I like to cover these because you never know. And they're precious. You don't want them to spill. Now I take the applicator that comes with the Born Pretty powders and I just kind of dab in there to get it adhered to. And it will adhere to this UV polish because that's how people do their nails. And then they just rub it in and it magically sticks to the UV polish. And if you have a little extra floating around in there, that's no big deal at all. That just gives it a little extra sparkle. So anything extra you can just kind of pull away from the edges and dab it around in there, because our next step is we are going to put a very thin layer of UV resin on this. But look at that, isn't that pretty just the way it is? So I need my little TKB silicone bowl so that I can put this on top so that it's level because of that veil. And I'm going to take my UV resin and I'm going to go ahead and squeeze a little in there. And you don't want a bunch in here because we're not ready to dome it. We're just putting enough in there to give us a solid background to put our cello sheet on. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold and sometimes I get a frog in my throat. So now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of evening it all out. So I'm just slowly letting the resin go to the edge and making sure that it's at all the edges. And it is. So what I'm gonna do next, and what I like to do, is just run over it with a lighter to get out any air bubbles. And it actually warms the resin up a bit and helps it level also. All right, so now I'm gonna take this over to my UV lamp. I'm gonna pop it in there for a couple minutes and I will return. All right, it is fully cured. And that alone is like so pretty. You could just leave it if you want and just add more resin, dome it up, and be done with it. Or you can add the Holo Boho flower to it. And that's what we're gonna do. So you just pick up your flower, and I like to use a tweezer for this because it's a little more precise. My fingers tend to get in the way. And you just place your flower. Actually, we're gonna add a little. Okay, we're gonna stop this for a second because the dog is barking. Actually, she stopped. So we're gonna add a little bit of resin to this so that the flower will stick. Ugh, never a dull moment around here. Anna, go lay down. There's no one here. So I'm just gonna kind of let that go around a little. And then put my flower on there. And you want to be careful not, if you're going to use tweezers like this, you want to be careful not to push too hard because you will add more texture to your embossed image. And you can use any image that you want, you know, that will fit in this area. I just happen to choose a flower because we're almost at springtime. Almost here. So just even the flower out where you want it. And kind of push down to get any air bubbles out. And that looks good. I think all the edges are down, except for over here. And it doesn't need to be completely flat. That's no big deal. You won't even notice once you put the resin on top. And I noticed I was out of camera shot. Sorry about that. What I was doing was I was just pushing around these edges and lining my flower up with its petal, like center to that bale. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this under the UV light for about a minute and I'll be back. All right, this is cured. And the reason it was able to cure is because the cello wrap is transparent. So the UV light could get past it to cure the resin below it, the UV resin below it. So far we're looking really pretty, purpley, green, and sparkly. So this is imperative at this step that you put this on a level surface. You want it to be absolutely level because at this point we are going to dome. So you take your resin and just squeeze it on there. And I think that's good. And it will level itself out and it won't go over the edges because it's doming resin. Now sometimes your plastic will be up a bit and that's no big deal. We can easily get that resin to go underneath by taking it and pulling it over there. And then it will get underneath there and you won't even know that ever happened. You just want to be careful that you don't break that tension around the edge because then you'll have resin everywhere. But I'm going to get up under there to try and get that air bubble full of resin. And it looks like there's one over here too, but I don't think I can get that one. So it'll just have to stay. All right, I'm gonna hit it with the lighter one more time. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put it under the UV lamp and we'll see the finished product. All right, it is fully cured and domed. You can see the edges and you can see the dome that the resin made. And look at all that beautiful sparkle and the purple coming through and like a little galaxy back there. And I actually like the second one that I made better because I added a lot more of the Born Pretty in the background. But they're both beautiful. All right, so now on to the giveaway. I will be giving this pendant away to one random person 2 weeks from today. So that would be the 29th of March. The giveaway is open to everyone. It doesn't matter if you live in the United States, if you live in Canada, you live in Ireland, it doesn't matter. The giveaway is open to everyone. And all you need to do is comment, like, and share this post to social media. Now you could share to Twitter, you could share to Pinterest, you can share to Facebook, you can share to Tumblr, or to your blog, wherever you'd like to share. And that is how you will be entered. I will choose a random person on the 29th of March, and I will announce it on my Facebook page. That link will be in the description below this video. So that is all you need to do to enter. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it helpful, and I will be back next Friday with another interesting tutorial. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and bye for now.